Imagine flipping through the scrapbook of Earth's ancient past, marveling at creatures crawling from ancient seas onto land, only to hit a blank page, a 15 million-year void where life seems to vanish. No fossils, no clues, just silence. This isn't science fiction. It's a real mystery called Romer's Gap, a stretch of time 350 million years ago that's baffled scientists for decades. Why did life seem to disappear during one of the most pivotal moments in evolution? And how did a stubborn fossil hunter in Scotland crack this case wide open by literally moving a river? Buckle up, wild ancestral glow fans, because we're diving into a prehistoric detective story that'll rewrite everything you thought you knew about the dawn of land dwellers. Picture Earth 360 million years ago, a steamy, swampy paradise where the first fish with legs, our quirky, eight-toed ancestors, are splashing through shallow waters, figuring out how to survive on land. These early tetrapods, the pioneers of every backbone-walking creature today, are leaving their mark in the fossil record. But then, something bizarre happens. For 15 million years, the fossil record goes dark. No transitional creatures, no halfway heroes bridging fish to fully terrestrial animals. Instead, when the record picks back up, we're greeted by five-toed, land-strutting vertebrates with limbs built for walking and body plans that scream, ready for the big time. This gaping hole, named after a sharp-eyed Harvard scientist who spotted it in 1956, is Romer's Gap, a 15-million-year puzzle that's longer than it took humans to evolve from early primates. That's no small coffee break. It's an evolutionary blackout. For years, scientists scratched their heads. Were the fossils just hiding in rocks we hadn't found? Did lousy geological conditions erase the evidence? Or, and this was the wildest theory, did life on land hit pause because Earth's air was too thin on oxygen? Some guessed oxygen levels dropped so low that only fish could thrive, leaving land a barren wasteland. But that didn't sit right. Evolution doesn't just clock out for 15 million years, does it? Enter a Scottish fossil hunter, a man with no fancy degrees, but an unshakable obsession with unearthing the past. Born in Edinburgh in 1939, this guy left school at 14, worked in shipyards, sailed with the merchant navy, and sold insurance, yet somehow, fossils became his life's calling. His name? A legend we'll call the River Mover, because this man didn't just hunt fossils. He reshaped landscapes to find them. In the late 2000s, the River Mover teamed up with a Cambridge scientist, chasing a hunch that Scotland held the key to Romer's Gap. Why Scotland? Back 360 million years ago, it wasn't the chilly, misty land we know today. It was parked on the equator, a tropical hotspot of humid swamps and winding rivers, prime real estate for early land animals. The duo scoured the Scottish borders, where ancient rocks from that exact time period peeked through the earth. And then, in 2008, they struck gold at a spot called Willy's Hole, a humble riverbank near the village of Churnside, where the white adder water had carved through layers of prehistoric stone. What they found was jaw-dropping, a treasure trove of fossils smack in the middle of Romer's Gap. We're talking complete skeletons of early tetrapods, plus plants, millipedes, scorpions, and fish, all perfectly preserved. One standout was a creature nicknamed Rebo, a dog-sized beast with prominent ribs and five-toed feet built for stomping on solid ground. Unlike its floppy, water-bound ancestors, Rebo was a land dweller through and through, with sturdy limbs that could support its weight out of water. This wasn't just a fossil. It was a game-changer, proving life didn't vanish during Romer's Gap, it thrived. But here's where the story gets cinematic. To fully excavate Willy's Hole, the team had to divert an entire river. In 2015, picture a crew of paleontologists wading through mud, redirecting the white adder water to expose the bedrock below. It's like Indiana Jones with more paperwork and soggy boots. Their gamble paid off. As word spread, other Scottish sites, like Bournemouth along the River Tweed and near Tantallon Castle, started yielding Romer's Gap fossils too. By 2016, 5 new tetrapod species had been identified, with more still under study. These weren't scraps. We're talking skulls, vertebrae, and limb bones, enough to paint a vivid picture of creatures that weren't just surviving but ruling the land. So, what did these animals look like? Forget struggling fish with legs. These were sophisticated tetrapods, some fully terrestrial, others splitting time between water and land. They had efficient lungs, proper walking gaits, and the 5-toed limb pattern that's been the blueprint for every land vertebrate since, from dinosaurs to us. Romer's Gap wasn't a dead zone. It was a bustling hub of evolutionary innovation. But why was it so hard to find these fossils in the first place? The answer might be in the air, or rather, what was missing from it. Geochemical clues from the rocks tell us oxygen levels during Romer's Gap were low, maybe 13 to 15% compared to today's 21%. For early land animals breathing air instead of filtering oxygen from water, that's a big deal. Low oxygen meant only specific spots, like coastal river deltas with good water flow and slight elevation, could support air-breathing life. Most of Earth's land was a no-go zone, too hostile for these pioneers. But Scotland? It was perfect. Sitting in the tropical zone with swampy rivers and high humidity, it was like a prehistoric Goldilocks zone for tetrapods. Willy's Hole and other sites were fossil jackpots because they preserved these rare, ideal habitats. This discovery flips the script on how we see the water-to-land transition. It wasn't a slow, plodding process. These animals cracked the code for land life fast, then spent those 15 million years diversifying into all sorts of terrestrial niches. The 5-toed limbs, efficient lungs, and body plans we thought appeared after Romer's Gap? They were already in play, much older than anyone guessed. These creatures weren't experiments. They were the polished descendants of trailblazers who conquered land long before. But Romer's Gap isn't the only hole in Earth's story. There's a bigger mystery called the Great Unconformity, where entire billion-year chunks of the rock record are missing in places like the Grand Canyon. Spotted in 1869, it's like someone tore out 2/3 of Earth's history book. Scientists think it's the result of massive erosion events tied to ancient supercontinents forming and breaking apart, grinding away mountains and fossils over eons. It's a humbling reminder. The fossil record is less than 1% of life's story. Most of it's gone, and we're left piecing together fragments, guessing at the blank pages. The river movers' discoveries show how much we can still learn from those fragments. This guy wasn't a lab scientist with a PhD. He was a self-taught fossil hunter who found 29 new species in his lifetime. He didn't just fill in Romer's Gap. He inspired a generation to keep digging. Even after his death in 2012, his Scottish sites are still yielding secrets, and in 2022, a Paleontology award was created in his honor. It's proof that breakthroughs don't always come from high-tech labs. Sometimes they come from muddy boots, sharp eyes, and relentless curiosity. Romer's Gap went from a 15-million-year mystery to a testament to life's unstoppable drive to conquer new frontiers. Thanks to the river mover and his team, we now know early tetrapods weren't just surviving, they were thriving, diversifying, and setting the stage for every land creature that followed. But here's the kicker. There are more gaps out there, more blank pages in Earth's story waiting to be filled. The next big discovery could be under a river, a cliff, or even your backyard. So, wild ancestral glow fans, keep your eyes open and your curiosity alive because the past is still out there, waiting for us to unearth its secrets. Hit that subscribe button, share this wild tale, and join us next time as we chase more mysteries from Earth's ancient past. Until then, keep glowing.